Hello, my loves. Welcome to another episode of Magical Moments. Today, I want to talk about how the worst things about you are actually the best things about you. So many of us, right? We have these parts that we want to hide. We have the things that we do not love about ourselves, the things that we wish away, the parts that we don't often let out of the shadows and that we believe are shameful, or we feel guilty, or we just wish they would go away and stop bothering us because we can be somebody else. We can be our true self once we fix them or once they're gone. And one of the things that has really moved my journey the most is really recognizing that these parts that I disliked were actually some of the best parts of me. They just were misaligned. They just were moving in the wrong direction, right? Because here I was always pushing them away. And if you think about them like your best friends, I mean, they always show up. So they kind of are like best friends. They never leave you alone. They're always there in the background, like, hi, listen to me, remember me? And they're so loyal. And yet here I was like just pushing them away, trying to shut them in the closet. No, hide them under the covers. And what I eventually realized is that these parts hold incredible qualities about me and about you, but they just are misguided and they are trying to help us, but they just don't know how. And so the way they come about it is a little bit like disconcerting and unsettling, right? But the magic lies in when you look at these parts and what you do is you harvest them, right? For the goodness that they are actually trying to share with you, that you pull them closer, that you say, okay, you have been with me for decades and I've tried everything I can to get rid of you, but you're still here. So maybe I can try something different. Maybe I can try talking to you differently. Maybe I can hear what you have to say. Maybe I can try to see something different in the relationship I have with you. And when you get really curious about what is underneath these patterns and these voices in your head and these emotions that keep welling up, you can begin to unearth and cultivate a deeper relationship with these parts of yourself, and you can recognize that they actually have so much to offer you. So an example of this in my life is I've always had this fighter inside of me, and she can be quite angry and she can get incredibly passionate about things. But I always tried to stifle her because I just wanted to be good and kind and sweet and nice. And I didn't really want to upset anybody. And then here comes this part of me that goes, brah, and upsets people. And then I'm like, oh, now I got to go and say sorry and clean it up. And let me try. I obviously did not have her under wraps today because she got out of the box again. And then on this journey, right, one of the things that I connected with and got really a deeper understanding of is that this part is never going to go away. This is me. This is a part of me that is vitally important in my mission, in my purpose, in my work, because somebody needs to fight for a better world for us. Somebody needs to fight for a better way of living and for aliveness and for passion and for being fully expressed, right? As women, especially. And what I realized is that I just had a misaligned relationship with her because I only let her out when I was angry or when I was frustrated or when I was in a triggered, right? And in a pattern. And I had no relationship with her in the way that she could fully support me. And my human design conscious sun is the purposeful fighter. It's what I'm designed to do. And yet here I am constantly trying to make her be quiet and go away. And so, because this part of me is so vitally me, she never went away. And because I was not aligned with her and not listening to her and not allowing her to have a voice in a really positive, healthy way, she was trying all these tactics to get my attention. And it was such a mind opening experience to really recognize that, wow, this part of me holds so much of my greatness. It holds a main purpose of why I'm here, but I was disconnected from it because I was ashamed of this part of me and I felt guilty and all the things. So the journey, right, is cultivating the relationship. It's pulling these parts close and teaching them a different way to express themselves, giving them a place, an outlet to have a healthy voice and to learn to work with these parts of you. And as I dove deeper in there, the shame went away, the guilt went away, and not only related to this, but other parts of my life where I was holding on to things that just didn't need to be held on to anymore, right? They had served their purpose. They were moving through me. They were moving out so that I could be authentically me and not holding on to these things that didn't support the place that I was going. But in order to move through them, we have to look at them first and we have to give them a voice. We have to give them a space to be able to come forward in the world to support us the way that they're supposed to. So now, if I feel passionate about something, right, it's my cue to say, oh, I need to put some attention here because this part of me that is very connected to my authentic truth is trying to get my attention because there's a message here. There's something that she wants us to do, and there's something that is intended that I need this part of me because it's this growth, right? This place of where we can interconnect all these parts and see that they hold the wisdom that you're here to share, right? Your greatness lives in these places. And so getting to know them is vitally important. And I love to do practices where it's like, okay, here she is. I'm going to pull up a chair. I'm going to invite her to have a cup of tea with me and let's hash it out. Let's figure this out together, right? When we can look at these parts of us as as if they are a part and they're a friend of ours, we can have a dialogue with them. We can have a conversation with them. We can include them in what we're doing. And it really is incredible what magic they can bring to the situation. Another example of this was years back, we were moving and I was super stressed, right? Moving is one of those big stressors in the world. And I could feel part of me so activated as I am packing boxes and trying to get our house ready to sell. And one of the things we were doing was putting colored duct tape on the different boxes so that when the movers moved us, they would know which room to put things in, like blue's the kitchen, yellow's the living room, et cetera, et cetera. And as I could feel this part of me being so activated and stressed, I sat down on the stairs and I said, hey, come over here. What's going on? And she told me, right? She was part of my little girl, and my little girl was scared of moving because when we were young, we did a big move, moved countries, and it was really terrifying for me. I was 6, and it was a big deal. And so that's who showed up. And as I sat there, I was like, hey, how can we make this fun for you? I said, what about if you go and put the colored duct tape on the different boxes for us? Does that sound like you could have fun doing that? And she's like, yeah, that sounds super fun. I was like, okay, go ahead, go put the duct tape on. Obviously, right, that she's not really putting the duct tape on, she's me. But this is how our consciousness works. We get compartmentalized. And by giving her a task that was something fun, by hearing her, by connecting to her, it shifted and I was able to go and pack without this like angst in my belly and with this like my heart kind of patter, 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 what's happening. Just by going through this simple exercise of calling this part of me close. So I offer these practices to you because I think it's super important that you pause, right? And you look at how are these parts really helping. This little girl part of me, she's an incredible part of me once I have owned her, once I have nurtured her, once I bring her into the circle rather than keep trying to push her away. So I hope you find this helpful. I would love if there's any comments or questions, you can put them below or reach out. Thanks so much for being on this journey with us. I just love being here with you and really diving deep into these topics so that we can find the wholeness inside us, right? Find the authentic truth so that we can live from this place and we can go out into the world and really bring our gifts and share them for the good of us all.